Jackson, representing Arizona. Booyah. Okay, you guys, we're at the top of the hour. So let's go ahead and get our party started. Again, thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be with us today. My name is Miss Marnita Casa, your Queen Connectress, and I am your humble hostess for today. Now, it is my honor to introduce you all to a man that for over 25 years dominated that direct sales industry. His cryptocurrency education is used by companies and universities worldwide. Now, for over 8 years, he dedicated his life to learning about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. But he didn't just stop there. He decided to go out, share his information with the masses, and this was done by putting on fun and exciting Bitcoin boot camps nationwide at no cost. He has built wonderful communities and thriving platforms like you see before you now. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you all to Mr. Brandon Ivey.
All right. Thank you for that introduction, Miss Casa, and for taking time out of your schedule on a Saturday morning. You're a mother and a wife and a business owner and trying to juggle all those at the same time, as well as helping us run ILCA and yelling at your kids in the background. Jack of all trades, making it happen. And we appreciate that very much. So thank you for all of your hard work. And for everybody else that is here, thank you also for taking time out of your Saturday to be here. I promise you I will keep this short as sweet as I possibly can. As a disclaimer, we are not licensed financial advisors to be giving financial advice. We share information for educational, training, and entertainment purposes only. And it is up to you to make your own informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. Now, this call that we do every Saturday is a way to introduce the public to what ILCA is all about. It's a way to allow our members and our partners to be able to share ILCA to their prospective business partners or family members or friends or associates that they feel need and would benefit from the services that we offer. And last week, I spent time on talking about how we got to this point, how I got into the crypto space to learn or why I got into the crypto space. I was following the river of money. I made certain decisions in my life, and it led me down this path. And I knew nothing about Bitcoin and crypto. And two things I will share again today that I shared last week is it was in May of 2017 that I learned two things that really changed my life. And the first is that blockchain technology is going to disrupt every single industry on the planet today, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you trust it or not. Your opinion of this is irrelevant, and it is even more so today than ever because I don't have to prove it anymore. You can't turn on your TV or watch the news without seeing it. It is in your face. In fact, you're not going to be able to go to your job without feeling this because soon it will be, I say by the end of this year, 50% of Americans will have the option to be getting their salaries and commissions paid in a stable coin or some form of digital currency. We just learned last week that the Donald Trump has signed an executive order that's going to allow 401ks to have crypto infused in your 401ks as an option. Every single bank in America and government agency will be dealing in the crypto space. Real estate is dealing in the crypto space. Medical is dealing in the crypto space. AI is going to be powering the crypto space. You can't get around this. So I love seeing what I knew 8 years ago starting to come to fruition right now to the public. The second thing that I learned is that cryptocurrency represents the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. And why is that last part important? Because this movement right now, this revolution or evolution that's taking place there's no barrier of entry. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter what language you speak, the color of your skin, whether you're a man, woman, or child, even children can get in on this. Doesn't matter if you have a bank account, a college degree, if your daddy owns the company. All you need is three things: a cell phone, access to the internet, and the third most important thing, which is what I'm leading to what I'm going to be talking about before we get into crypto talk, is this: a willingness to learn something new. Someone asked me the other day, said, Brandon, you've been retired from corporate America since 2012. You've been in the direct selling space for almost 26 years. You've earned seven figures. You've lost seven figures. You've been in multiple industries. How are you doing that? And I said, because I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to adapt. I'm always willing to follow the river of money where the new skill sets are going. And I need to learn those new skill sets, and you don't have to go to college to do so or go back to college to learn these new skill sets. You can teach yourself. And that's exactly what I did to the crypto space. But when I led into the mind, what I want to talk about is not exactly what ILCA is right now, because I did that last week. I want to tell you about what ILC is going to be, what's coming up in 2026 to be prepared for. Let me ask you this. Let me come at you this way. Have you ever, well, let me say this. I learned after 10 years of failure in the direct selling space where I didn't make any money, but I was a part of a company where people were making millions of dollars. And I was like, I don't understand. You know, I'm in a great opportunity, yet I'm not having success. But there are people that are. And then even after that, as the years went on and I saw those same individuals join other opportunities, they still had success no matter what they did. And I saw people that did not have success in the first company that was great, join other companies and still not have success. So I realized it's not the company, it's not the opportunity. You can show me the best company out there and I'll show you somebody that's broke in it. You can show me the worst company out there and I'll show you somebody making millions in it. Have you ever met individuals that it seems like they're just lucky all the time? That good things or positive results always happen for them? And you're like, how do they always have the success when they're lucky? Or have you ever seen or experienced people, and some of you might say, that's me, that things always bad happens, always something negative, always something, you could be the best thing going and you still not have that type of success. You're like, how come I'm not lucky? You ever experienced anything like that? Type me in the chat box if you ever seen that or experienced that. One thing that I've learned is that success is not an overnight story. It's a journey. And most people, when they come to the realization that they want something different, they think that that transition is going to happen overnight just because they say, I want something different and I'm going to join something that a lot of money is being made. And they're not going to get the results because it is a process. So when I say I'm going to talk about what ILCA is going to be in the future, we are going to be an umbrella that encompasses everything from the standpoint of not just showing you an opportunity or showing you the river of money. What we're going to show you is how to transform yourself to build the foundation that's required to have that. If you live on the beach and you're living on the sand and you've got a little shack on the sand, and it's good for you because that beach can support that little shack. And then one day you say, you know what, I want to live in a skyscraper. And so you try to build the skyscraper right on the same foundation as the shack that you've been living in. Can that sand, movable sand, water, sustain a skyscraper? No, but you're trying to build it. And every time you build it, it keeps crumbling, it keeps crumbling, it keeps crumbling, and you don't understand why. It is like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, yet expecting a different result, not understanding that you need to move your foundation to more solid ground, that it can sustain that. Most people don't even know where to begin. All they know is that they want more. So in 2026, when we launch Ivy League Coaching Academy, we're going to be going back to the beginning. We're going to show you how to first acknowledge and recognize your current situation and be honest with yourself. And that is also a very difficult thing to do. That was a difficult thing for myself to do when I had to look at myself and see, no, I'm not a failure, but the decisions that I've made in my life have led to what I currently have right now. And I need to recognize that and acknowledge it. And that if I don't make new decisions, then my situation is not going to change. If this is making sense, type me in the chat box. That was the first thing that we're going to cover. Then the next is we're going to teach you how to make a decision. Make a decision on what you want your life to be. Not, I want to make more money. That's not good enough. Not even close. More money only enhances who you really are. So if you already have a destructive or not productive mindset, and now we pour more money on you, you're just going to spiral out of control much faster. How many times have you ever heard of lottery winners that go broke within 7 to 10 years and then say they wish they never won the lottery because it destroyed their lives? And people who didn't win the lottery look at them and say, "Are you crazy? What are you talking about? You wish you never won the lottery." They didn't earn the skills necessary to receive that amount of money in the first place. And once they had it, they definitely didn't have the skills to know how to keep it. So I'm going to not just coach and teach you this. I'm going to show you some visual stimulation so that you get it. The information that I'll be sharing is not stuff that I made up. This is stuff that is knowledge that is not taught. I've spent 6 figures in my career on my personal development. And most people won't read a book after high school. So there's a reason why I do and I move the way I do. So when I create the Ivy League Coaching Academy, I want to be able to do it in a way the same way I created the Ivy League Crypto Academy. I like to say in a way that my mom can understand. I want to do it in a way that the average person can understand, not somebody who can spend $10,000 on a weekend seminar with Tony Robbins. I'm going to break it down in simplistic terms so the average person can hear it and a switch goes off in their brain that says, I understand and I'm ready to take some action. And so once you know where you are, then we're going to talk about and show you how you can make the next decision on that you want something better. And what does that even look like? What does it look like in your life to have better than where you are right now? You'd be surprised a lot of people can't answer that question. Even if I asked them the question, and what would you do in your life if money wasn't an issue? Everything is superficial. I buy this, I buy that, I travel here, I'd go there. Nothing beyond that, because we're still all in survival mode. We're just trying to pay our bills by the end of the month, going to a job that we don't like and putting in all the hours, the best hours of our lives. The greatest thing for me at retiring at 36 years old, not because I retired with millions in the bank, it was that I got my time back. The best hours of my life, and I am even more reflective of that now. I just came back from a funeral yesterday of a dear family friend, and he was beloved, and it was so big that the church couldn't hold everybody. It overflowed. There were celebrities there and dignitaries, and he had a very successful career, beautiful family. But I was with him hours before he passed away. And I can tell you, he would give all of that up, those successes, for time. Time. And one of his partners, a lawyer, said something yesterday that about a couple of months ago, they were talking about what life would be like after retirement because he didn't have the opportunity to retire. He literally was working all the way up to his final days. And this year he took not leave, but was working kind of part-time on his law firm. But he never had time to now take those 8, 10, 20 hours a day and enjoy life. So being able to retire, and I try to explain this to my dad as well, retiring at 36, I have my time back. I was able to do what my father wasn't able to do. My youngest son, all he knows is that I'm home 24/7. I didn't have that with my father. My father was busting his ass working hard, which I appreciate. I appreciate it far more as an adult than I did as a child because I didn't understand. But I definitely I do now and have nothing but respect for the hard work and hustle and the sacrifices that my parents had made for their family. But I also believe in if there's a better way, why not? My father did what he did because that's what he was taught and that's what he knew. But there are wealthy people out there that make 100 times more and they have far more freedom. What is it that they're doing? What is it that they know that we're not taught, we're not doing, and is purposely not taught? And it is very simple. It's a simple concept that is not, what's the word I want to use? It's not hidden. You're just not aware of it. Everybody has access to it. Everybody. It's just the wealthy teach it to their children and their friends and family privately. So I'm going to be breaking things down on a basic level to get your foundation right so that when you do go into crypto, which is where the river of money is heading, not because of money, but because of the technology that's going to encompass everything, you will now have a foundation where you will start to grow your cup. See, a lot of people have a shot glass, and that is a representation of how much resources you can handle and manage in your life. And you think that if I join this opportunity, or if I get in crypto, or if I invest in this, I'm going to be able to have more money. Problem is that shot glass can only hold so much. It doesn't matter how much you pour into it. It's gonna spill out. And when you hear people say my cup overfloweth, that's not a flex. That means you need a bigger cup. You don't want your cup to overflow. You want a bigger cup to hold more, retain more. So our process is going to show you how to continue growing your cup. And there's no limits. There's people out there trying to survive on $18,000 a year when other people out there make $18,000 a second. There's no limit. But here's the crazy thing about this. Do you know who's responsible for this and who it's up to? Like Leonard said, you. You. So, Ivy League Coaching Academy is going to open the door. But even though the door will be opened, you will still have to walk through it and take action. So ILCA is going to be able to open the door, start you on the process of being aware. I call this consciously aware. Also provide opportunities so that you can start to build those resources and fill your cup up at the same time. We're going to teach you how to be not just in business, but a business. You guys understand the difference? You are the business. We're going to teach you how to have a financial foundation to build upon. Having your own LLC, having your own business bank account, getting your own business credit, having all these things in place. And then now that you're in crypto, you start to make the money, you know what to do with it, to building your portfolio. And then how to expand even outside of the crypto space, which is what the River of Money group is all about that we just started. In fact, those of you guys in the River of Money group, pay attention to the private telegram because we have Mr. Crow is in Florida right now. And he is doing live recordings. And he's going to be sharing that. In fact, I think he did a video last night, and so it is posted in the Telegram group. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention to that because he's going to come back and we'll have that call next Thursday to share. Now, here's another thing as well. My mentors back in the day, when I started to learn this information, I was so excited about it. I was just running my mouth publicly, and they wanted to pull me aside and said, "What are you doing? They're not qualified to hear what you're saying, and you're going to cause more harm than good because they're going to attempt to do something and they don't understand and have a foundation for it." And I was so excited, like everybody needs to know this. What's going on here? Why are you being stingy? Why are you holding and hoarding this for yourself? I didn't understand then, but I do now. So the way we're moving now is not public. All you know is that we're moving, but you're not going to know what. You have to be in our community. And why? Because I know that if you're a part of our community, you're getting all of the other foundations in place to sustain you, even if you take advantage of the opportunities that we are presenting. It's not about just making money. If you don't have the foundation in place, you'll lose it just as fast as you got it. So that is what ILCA, you already know what the crypto side is, but what our coaching side is coming up, we're going to be adding so much value. I can say this right now. We have some announcements in September that we'll be making because I'm gearing up for 2026. I'd say you want to be a platinum member as fast as possible. And you got 4 or 5 months to do that if you're not a platinum member right now. You definitely want to be a platinum member. To be able to be a part of our River of Money group and see some of the things that we have going on. And I don't just talk about it, I bring the receipts. So our River of Money call this past Thursday, I brought the receipts. I showed. What was it? No, what is it up to now, Marnita? 151,000, something like that. I bring the receipts, and that's still growing without having to recruit and without having to sell a products, goods, or services. That's what our River of Money is. Passive opportunity. True residual income. I tried to do a live in the backyard the other day, and my iPhone is it right here? My iPhone I had set up on the tricorder. I had my Android, and the doggone thing overheated. It was like 101 degrees, so I had to go inside. But I might go swimming today or tomorrow. I'll go live again. But I was talking about the River of Money group, the passive versus residual income. So you definitely want to be in the River of Money group. We don't need everybody. I have a goal of helping at least 100 people to be able to earn $2,500 to $5,000 a month passively. That's on the low end. And then move from them to $10,000 a month and more. But to be able to get that information, you got to be a part of our inner circle. And our inner circle is a cost. It's $49 a month. So I'm the first person that tells me, Brandon, I don't want to pay $49 a month. You definitely will never reach any higher than where you are right now. There's a cost to everything in life. There's a cost. What are you willing to pay? Whether your time or your money. I shared, I am where I am, but I've spent 6 figures. And someone tells me that they're not willing to pay 49 or higher, then you're limiting what you're going to be able to get. Okay. There's always a cost. Your house ain't free. Your car's not free. Your dinner's not free. Building this is not free either. There's a cost. The reason why I charge is because I have it private as a community. And my time is valuable as well. I am worth a whole lot more than what I'm giving away for this community. So if you want to be a part of the River of Money, you've got to be in our inner circle. It's private, not looky-loos. So how do you get in part of our inner circle? Get back to the person who may be inviting and showing this to you. And I'm teaching at the same time to our inner circle members right now that you should have invited 50 people onto this call. in any presentation that we do. How? Share it. Social media. Share that we got a live coming up. Share that. Share the live feed I have going on Facebook right now. Take the recording and upload it to your YouTube video. Put it on Instagram, TikTok. Talk about it pays to be in the ILCA community. And that helps to build and grow yourself as well. So get back to the person who's inviting you. They'll let you know what the way to get involved. Or if you have nobody, go to ilca.app. Now we have something coming up. I do something called the 5-day challenge once a month. 5-day challenge. And what that is this is me giving back to the community at no cost. We do a Bitcoin boot camp where for 1 hour a night, we're going to teach you the basics of what blockchain technology and cryptocurrency actually is. With different topics from what is the blockchain, what is crypto, to security and wallets and how to buy it. And there's no cost to that. So that's going to next one be the week of August 25th, that entire week for 1 hour. And all you have to do is register, ilcachallenge.com, ilcachallenge.com. Not only when you can get that for free to access to it, but you're also going to get a free ebook called Bitcoin for Beginners and something new that we just launched as well. And it is our free, we made 10 free courses. You will have access to our membership portal. So we have our own membership portal that's not, on Telegram and Facebook, and you'll have access everybody for free. And as you see here, and Marnita, we're going to bump this up. There's only 38 members right now in here. We've got more than 7,000 people who have registered. So everybody can have this for free. So if you have not joined the 5-day challenge group on our membership section, and we also have an app, you want to do so. Because when you click on learning, let my system load up. Yeah. We've got 10 free videos for those who register for the 5-day challenge. You just click on this. It's going to open up. 10 brand new courses. What is money and why it changes? What is the internet and why digital things matter? What is the blockchain? What is cryptocurrency, digital money? What is cryptocurrency, which is digital money you control? Why do you need crypto? Freedom and fairness. What is a wallet? Your digital backpack for crypto. What is a private key, your secret password? How to be safe in crypto, stranger danger. How do you get crypto by earning, buying, or trading? What can you do with crypto? More than just buying stuff. All for free. Why? Because AI said I didn't have enough free stuff. So we're giving away a lot of free stuff for anybody that wants the information. And then you can decide if you want to be a part of our community after that. Book costs money too. So that is what ILCA is and where we're going. It is going to be so much bigger in 2026 moving forward. I'm really excited about that. Now, there's something else that you get access to by being an Inner Circle member, by going to ilca.app. By going here, choose your membership and get signed up, you have access to something called Crypto Talk. And Crypto Talk, actually it's on this page, ilcacryptonews.com, if you just want to go directly here. Crypto Talk, where you're getting me almost every day, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, where our education never stops. I'm actually covering the crypto space every day. The news, we're reading the charts, we're seeing what's going on in the space. This is the backbone of our community, and it's also the golden goose. I can't tell you how much money has been made from the information that we've garnered just from our inner circle. And that's private. I do it open publicly on a Saturday, and it's only partial. For example, I'm about to do a little bit of it right now. So join our inner circle. It pays to be in the inner circle. There's no down on this. In fact, the money that you'll make from just what you learn from us covers whatever expense that you're paying for our services. So with that, I'm going to switch over to our inner circle and what we do on Monday through Thursday. So the first thing that we do is I need to see what's going on in the world, in the market. So this is a Saturday. We've had a lot of news this past week, especially with Donald Trump and tariffs and things like that. So we've got the Dow up 206 points, S&P 549, NASDAQ 207. Europe is mixed, slightly in the red. Asia in the green for the Asia Dow and the Nikkei 225 up 761 points. Then we have look at the crypto market. All right, pull this up. Here we go. Crypto market. Wow. This past, we're back above $4 trillion. I remember when the entire crypto market was like 200 billion and Bitcoin was half of that. Now it's at 4 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is at 58%. Whoa. Ethereum. Now, I've been busy the last 2 days. I have not had a chance to see what's going on. But 12.6%. Ethereum had a bump. Yeah, look, whoa. Look what's trending. Ethereum is 4,194. Wait a minute, have we reached a new all-time high? See, Bitcoin's at 116,000, Ethereum 4,100, up 6.1%, up 19.6% on the week. Ripple's at 1.2% in the last 24 hours. BNB 2.8, Solana 2.7, Doge 8.2, Cardano 2.9, Chainlink 10.1. Let me look at Ethereum. Oh yeah, we talked about the 401k for crypto at the beginning. Let's see here. No, it did not reach an all-time high yet. All-time high was 48.78 3 years ago, but it's past $4,000. Wow. All right, Ethereum. Let's see. Best performers, and since this is Saturday, we got to go by week. Last week, Mantle, 52.7% up on the week. We kind of looked at that in Crypto Talk last week. Ethena, 37.5. Chainlink, 33.5. Matic, 26.4. Optimism, SPX. We made some good money off of this one in Diamond class. Also, those of you that were sitting on Zora, yeah, I think I made like 30 something percent on that. Wait, no. 13% and then 18% because I did two sales. Remember what I told you guys? If it's still going up, sell 50% and then wait until it goes up higher, sell another 50%. I know Leonard was on that one. But SPX, yeah, this is the token that keeps on giving in our trading. Doge up 22.5. Arbitrum, Chronos, Ethereum, all the wrapped Ethereums. Say, the entire week, this has been a very good week for crypto. Which tokens did not have a good week? Monero, down 8.2%. Toncoin 5.6. XDC 1.2. And that's about it. Okay. Traders, I'm just going to do something. And you know what I'm doing. I'm going to look at the last hour here. 2.5 for Pi, Ethena, Optimism, Arbitrum. Worst performers. Here's this Provenance blockchain again. This keeps been popping up all week. Story, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, Mantle, Litecoin, Sky, Stellar, Ripple. What is Ripple's price? 327. Ripple's close to its all-time high, up 13.6% on the week. And there's been a lot of, as Marnita said at the beginning, SEC Ripple news. All right. Let's jump into the news. That's the next thing that I also do. Understand as well, I do not read any of these articles beforehand. I pull them up that Ms. Casa posts for me, and I pull up some from our Telegram news group. Kenny be loading that thing up, and I read them live with you guys. So you're getting my reaction live, not me reading something before, figuring out how to manipulate everybody else and making the move before I talk about it. So you're getting it live with me. So here we go. Peter Schiff warns of looming US dollar collapse. What? With BRICS poised to rise. Now, if you have been paying attention to the news, there's been a standoff between the United States, Russia, China, India, and the whole BRICS. So Donald Trump is making some demands, and he's raising tariffs on countries that is purchasing and doing business directly with Russia. And so BRICS says that they are going to retaliate some kind of way. So the US dollar is hurtling toward collapse, threatening to obliterate American living standards, economist Peter Schiff warns, as deficits soar, inflation bites, and emerging markets gain unstoppable momentum. That is all true. Now, I learned something from Jim Rome back in the day that said, it's not what happens to you that's important. Things that are out of your control. All of this is out of our control. What matters is how you respond to it and are you prepared for it. The goal is to build a financial wall around your house so large that nothing can penetrate it. That's the goal. So this is all happening. What are you doing about it for you and your family? US dollar collapse will impoverish the vast majority of Americans, Peter Schiff warns. Economist and gold advocate Peter Schiff issued a sharp critique of recent US trade and fiscal policy on social media platform X, warning that these measures are accelerating the US dollar's decline and pushing the nation toward financial deterioration. Now, I don't even like Peter Schiff, but sometimes a broken clock can be right twice a day. He's right on this. The US dollar is on the verge of collapse, which will impoverish the vast majority of Americans' living standards. The Gold Bug wrote, Schiff condemned the decision to impose 50% tariffs on imports from India, arguing that such protectionist measures threaten to erode domestic consumer power while strengthening emerging economies. The dollar crash will impoverish Americans, but enrich foreign consumers, particularly the BRICS. The death of the US consumer means the birth of the emerging market consumer. BRICS, now comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, UAE, and Indonesia, has significantly expanded its geopolitical clout in 2025. This economic bloc of emerging economies is accelerating efforts to reduce dependency on the US dollar, which means if they're not using our dollar, if they are not doing transactions in it, if they're not buying our debt, you think inflation's bad now? What do you think the cost is going to be going to the grocery store? What do you think your $20 is going to be worth? We are living on borrowed time right now. In fact, ever since we dropped the gold standard in 1971, but even before that, when the world decided to use the US dollar as its world reserve currency, and the United States politicians were not fiscally responsible with that, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. According to Schiff, the U.S. policy approach reveals deep vulnerabilities in the country's economic model and could lead to a long-term shift, long-term, this ain't going to be short-term, in global demand away from the American market. And let me tell you something why. When Donald Trump won the first time and decided to take America on a way different course, the rest of the world thought that it was, this is just a short-term blip in America. If they have another administration comes in, things will go back to normal like the last 70 years. Biden comes in office and things seem to be, the rest of the world was like, okay, yeah, we got to deal with America. But then Trump won again and then reversed it again. So now the rest of the world is like, okay, we can't deal with on the bipolar side of America. We can't trust them. They may do something for 4 years and switch it up, another 4 years and switch it up. That's not stable. So in the best of our interest, we need to start making our determinations and decisions that's going to benefit us long term, that's steady and consistent. If that means we're not doing business with America, then that's what we got to do until America figures out what they want to do. The rest of the world doesn't need us anymore. They needed us after World War II. We're at 8 decades removed from that. Okay? They don't need us anymore. Americans just haven't figured that part out yet either. His warnings highlight a broader concern about the dollar's weakening role as the world's reserve currency. Schiff asserted that unsustainable levels of government borrowing, coupled with inflated asset values, pose a significant risk to household stability. That is true. He pointed to a growing disconnect between fiscal expansion and economic fundamentals, emphasizing that rising deficits and inflation could continue to erode real wages and savings. That is true. There's another reason why having crypto and 401ks is a big move. The Economist maintains that this trend may redirect investment flows toward developing nations that are poised to benefit from the relative decline in U.S. consumer influence. And that is also true. So on this, I agree with this clown, Peter Schiff. And yes, I believe he is a clown. All right, Coinbase. I like this headline. Coinbase CEO urges early action as crypto hits Netflix versus blockbuster moment. Is there anybody out there that does not understand that analogy? Type me in the chat box if you don't get. What does he mean, Netflix versus blockbuster? Everybody should get this. So crypto adoption is exploding. I like the adjective. I don't read to read, I read to understand. I read things like a lawyer. Crypto adoption is not growing, is not making headways, is not a fad, is not a trend. It is exploding. As who? Businesses go on chain. So we're not talking about individuals. A lot of people out there still think crypto is an individual thing. Well, I don't believe in it, so therefore it means nothing to me because I'm not going to get involved. Really? Where you go shopping, where you spend your money, and where you go to work, all businesses are getting involved. So you're going to be involved whether you like it or not. Businesses go on chain. Why? Not because they necessarily believe in it, but to stay ahead. So when BlackRock did what they did, what do you think all the other firms did too? Even if they didn't understand it, if you want to compete, you got to do it. You ever seen gas stations on a corner and there's like 3 or 4 gas stations right on the same corner and then one lowers the price? What do you think the other's going to do? And then they talk, hey, man, stop lowering that price, man. You want to stay ahead in business. You want to stay competitive. You got to move forward. The river of money is changing direction. With the Coinbase CEO calling it a Netflix moment, poised to redefine. So we're not talking about poised to add, poised to grow, poised to join. No. Redefine the future of global finance. Coinbase Chief Executive Officer Brian Armstrong stated on social media platform X that the crypto industry is undergoing a pivotal transformation that mirrors a major shift in the entertainment sector 2 decades ago, drawing a comparison to the rise of Netflix and the fall of Blockbuster. Anybody going into a Blockbuster video on a Friday night today, like last night? Or we had Blockbuster Video and we had Hollywood Video out here in California. Anybody doing that? I mean, the closest to it is if you go to the grocery store, you might see some red boxes. Armstrong underscored a critical juncture in adoption patterns for blockchain technology. He wrote, close that. Crypto is at its blockbuster versus Netflix moment right now. Businesses are going on chain and adopting crypto because they want to. They get it. Soon, the other businesses will be desperately trying to catch up. They'll go on chain not because they want to, but because they'll need to. That is so powerful right there. I hope you guys are getting this. I've been screaming this since 2017. Not because they want to, but because they need to. My advice, be early. So for those of you who think, you know, am I late on this crypto thing? You know, Bitcoin's $120,000 a coin. I can't afford all that. Did I miss the boat? No, you did not. Where we are right now in blockchain technology is where the internet was in 1998. Are we still using AOL? Or is our internet speed so much faster today? So no, you're not too late. And he says, be early. The Netflix blockbuster reference highlights how a legacy company can fail to keep up with innovation. Blockbuster, once a video rental powerhouse, declined to embrace digital streaming and ultimately collapsed. That's one of the most watershed, dumbest business moves in history. Blockbuster was dominating at the time, and their logic wasn't wrong. Their business model was sound. They said Blockbuster is not just about you getting a video, it's about you having an experience. You know, on a Friday after work, on your way home, stopping off at the blue box, walking up and down the aisles. Well, there's TV screens showing advertisements of all the latest videos that come out in movies, and you go into your favorite part and picking out your video, hoping that you get it before there's not enough on the shelf. If you're really, really bona fide and special, you would call ahead of time to reserve your video. Get your little Twixlers and popcorn and cotton candy. Go home and have a movie night in front of your TV with your kids. You know, and then race on Monday morning to drop off that video in the drop box before you get a late fee. Who remembers that? They dominated. And Netflix says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna mail you your DVD." And Blockbuster said that's not a smart business model. It can break. It's gonna take 3 days to 4 days for somebody to get the movie. So the moment has gone. I remember Blockbuster made a commercial. It was funny. You guys know how, and this is why there's that term Netflix and chill. Blockbuster. I can't believe I forgot this. They made a video and it showed a couple on a couch, right? And I guess a guy called the girl over to come hang out and watch movies, right? They call it the blockbuster moment. And they sit down and they're ready to go to watch the movie. And then she says to him, "Okay, so where's the DVD?" And he says, "Wait, it'll get here in 3 days." And she said, "What? It's gonna take me 3 days to get the movie?" The moment, and then she just gets up and leaves, and he's just sitting there like, and then it says, just could have went to Blockbuster. They called it the blockbuster moment. Netflix calls it Netflix and chill. So their idea wasn't sound, but they lacked vision. Because Netflix told them, no, that's where it is today. That's not where it's going to be tomorrow. We're going to stream these videos. So Blockbuster didn't see where the internet was going to be in the future. It was looking at where the internet is now. We have AOL dial-up. How long did it take for one web page to load up, let alone try to stream an entire movie? It seemed impossible. So Blockbuster did not move forward. If you're still with me, type me in the chat box. I'm going to make sure this is making sense. You're still with me. Same thing is happening right now. If you're in business and you're not moving to embrace blockchain, I'm not saying crypto, blockchain technology, AI, you won't be in business very long. And this is going to be a change faster than Netflix and Blockbuster. Blockbuster had a slow death. They kept trying to hold on. And then by the time they tried to do something different, it was too late. But this, it's going to come like a thief in the night. Almost overnight, everything is going to change. 24 months and less. Armstrong's remarks reflect a broader trend of blockchain adoption across various sectors, including supply chain, payments, and digital identity. In line with this shift, U.S. regulators are promoting on-chain finance through Project Crypto. Project Crypto, a major initiative introduced by the SEC to modernize capital markets using blockchain. Gemini co-founder Cameron Winklevoss praised the efforts, stating, Project Crypto outlines the plan for crypto to power America's golden age. This starts with moving markets on-chain. Supporters argue that a well-regulated on-chain system could enhance transparency and strengthen U.S. leadership in global finance. So congratulations to those of you who are still listening to me right now. You're getting this information, and then you choose to take action on that information by joining the inner circle for $49. I went to Wingstop last night. They have a brand new wing out now. I think it's called hot lemon pepper. All it is lemon pepper that they just poured hot sauce on it. But I had to get it because it was something new. I paid far more money than that than it is for the inner circle for some wings. You already tried that, Clearbo? All right. Steak and Shake. Leonard already just mentioned that. Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake touts Bitcoin adoption as sales soar. Oh, go figure. We were in Vegas for the Bitcoin 2025 convention, and there was a Steak and Shake in there. Fast food chain Steak and Shake. Is there Steak and Shake in California? I don't recall ever seeing one. Which is owned by Biglari Holdings, says its same store sales have jumped 10.7% in second quarter, and that Bitcoin has played a part in the company's success. In the second quarter of 2025, Steak and Shake's same store sales increased by 10.7%. So Steak and Shake's competitors see that and say, wait a minute. They didn't come out with anything brand new. All they did was adopted crypto, and now their sales went up by 10%. What do you think the competitors are going to do? Do the same thing. Said the firm wrote on Friday that thanking the Bitcoin community soon after Biglari published its second quarter financial results. Bitcoin has been a game changer. Look at that. Bitcoin has been a game changer. Thank you, Bitcoiners. Dan Edwards, Steak and Shake's chief operating officer, told Bitcoin conference attendees in May during a speech that his firm was saving 50% in processing fees just by adopting the crypto. Bitcoin, burgers, and beyond. Why? So I'm going to see out here in California, we've got In-N-Out Burger. I think they will probably be the next to do something like this. Ripple. Hey, that's true, Clearbo. You pay 3 times $49 a month on coffee. There's a Steak and Shake in Compton? Compton, Southgate, and Santa Monica. Okay. Ripple and SEC end legal fight with joint dismissal of appeals. And that could be why we've seen a jump in Ripple. Not in the last 24 hours, though, but in the last week. This is big news, too. On August 7, 2025, the SEC Commission announced an official close to its years-long legal dispute against Ripple Labs. The SEC and Ripple formally ended the case by filing a joint stipulation to dismiss their respective appeals in the Second Circuit Court. The dismissal ends the SEC's appeal From blockbuster lawsuit to settlement. I'm just skimming this, but I got to run. A strategic retreat by both sides. Implications for the crypto community. Okay. Although the case did not produce Supreme Court precedent or final appellate rulings, the litigation, and especially Judge Torres' opinion, will likely shape how courts and regulators approach token classification going forward. It confirmed that not all crypto transactions fall under the securities umbrella, particularly in secondary markets where buyers are often anonymous and unaware of the issuer's identity, let alone managerial promises. The case also underscored the strategic limitations of regulation by enforcement. For all the SEC's efforts to define the crypto industry through litigation, it now faces a growing patchwork of rulings that complicate its jurisdictional claims. Meanwhile, Congress continues to weigh legislation that could bring more clarity to the treatment of digital assets. And what comes next? With the Ripple case now officially closed, the company is free to move forward both in the US and abroad without the overhang of federal securities litigation. The crypto industry, in turn, can look to this outcome as a cautiously optimistic signal that nuance matters, that courts may be more receptive to technological complexity than regulators have been, and that litigation, while costly, can yield meaningful boundaries in an otherwise uncertain landscape. Ripple's chief legal officer says the end, and now back to business. So expect Ripple to start growing. It's completely undervalued. It should be at least around $10 a coin right now, in my opinion. So don't make moves off of that. Brandon said, nah, in my opinion. But that ends Crypto Talk for today and our presentation. Again, we invite you to join our inner circle so that you have access to also not only Crypto Talks every day, but our River of Money. And also for those of you who say, wow, this is great information. I have a community of people that I'd love to share this with, but I don't necessarily want to put them in front of you, Brandon, and your community. I want to keep my community. We have a partnership program in place. For those of you out there that would love to be able to monetize a community you already have in a safe environment, you can partner with ILCA, like Leonard Long has, and be able to have your own website with your own brand and be able to sell my courses to your community because my courses are all white label. It doesn't have my name on them, doesn't have my face on them. I don't say my name, I don't say ILCA. It's just generic courses. So you can still keep your house in your house, your people in your house, and make money. You'll make 50% on this, all sales. You can make 6 figures a year selling my product. So if you want to become a partner, oh, Miss Casa, what was that website again? I forgot the website off the top of my head. Just get back with one of us and we will show you how to look at, because we have a website that just talks about our partnership program. And after this 5-day challenge, I will be talking a lot about the partnership program for the rest of the year. Get you guys set up because that also is going to be a huge piece of the Ivy League Coaching Academy next year when we're talking about building your foundation, because our partnership program actually builds you the website and gets you in place. There's a lot of people that have an LLC and no website. Then you try to go to a bank talking about, can I get a business line of credit? Can I get business credit cards? They're like, what's your website? Well, we actually do that as well. So with that, thank you guys for listening to me today. I will put this recording up on YouTube, and we've got those of you in the River of Money group. One of the opportunities, there's a call coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And then I will be back on Monday for our Inner Circle Crypto Talk, Monday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will be going live this week. If not today, I'll thank you, Ms. Casa, winwithivy.org. If not today, then tomorrow, because it's been hot. So I'm going to be in the pool, and I might turn the camera on and continue my thoughts from the other day. So with that, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you later. Brandon Ivey out. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I got a video. I got a song to play at least. I can't end without the ILCA album I'm putting together here. Okay, advanced. And there we go. Which one? I'll just do something random.
We painted futures on the canvas now. Keys in the chain and the street know-how. Brandon Ivey gave the blueprint now. ILCA, we the wave, no doubt.
Yeah. We got stories in the chain.
Pain in the pain.
Taught the block how to break out the cave.
Made from broke to woke, we ain't chasing fame.
We chasing wallets with our name in the frame.
ILCA, where the grind turn gold.
Crypto in the soul, not a world on hold.
Built it from nothing but a prayer and plan.
This the canvas and chain, where the truth began. Came from a system that said don't ask why. Now I'm drawing on the ledger, watch the value rise. Brandon Ivey, yeah, the name like weight. Taught the hood how to walk through that crypto gate. Used to juggle bills like I'm flipping dice. Now I'm teaching about wallets and security rights. 15 lessons deep in the class with kings. ILCA got them changing what freedom means. No cap, just coded math and grace. Help the block find light in the darkest place. It's more than coin, it's mind elevation. Legacy talk, not just market fluctuations. I ain't looking for likes, I'm looking for keys, so my fam don't starve in a system disease. Brandon built what the schools left behind. Now we bank in the pocket with the sharpest minds.
ILCA, where the grind turn gold.
Crypto in the soul, now the world on hold.
Built it from nothing but a prayer and plain.
This the canvas and chain, where the truth began.
Used to doubt what I knew, now I lead in rooms. Flipping fear into fuel, got receipts and zooms. From the block where the lights flicker out by noon. I'm trading coins with my son while we watch cartoons. Ivy said, don't wait, the power is yours. So I opened up a wallet, then I opened new doors. Now I walk like I'm wealthy even when it's tight. Cause I'm stacking slow motion with that crypto light. Smart chain runner, got vision like hawks. ILCA turn the silence into loud talks. No suit, no loans, just sweat and smarts. Now I'm living off blades that were taught from the heart. It ain't a flex, it's a formula clean. For the girl with the dreams and a crack phone screen. Now I teach my sisters how to build a lane. And Brandon Ivey gave the code to change the game. ILCA,
we got stories in the chain.
Pain in the pain.
Son be taught the block how to break out the cage.
Made from broke to woke, we ain't chasing fame.
We chasing wallets with our name in the frame.
ILCA, where the grind turn gold.
Crypto in the soul, now the world on hold.
Built it from nothing but a prayer and plan.
This the canvas and chain, where the truth began.
Pain in the play, legacy in motion, knowledge in the air. Brandon Ivey, ILCA, everywhere from the canvas to the chain. We there, ILCA. From the canvas to the chain.